Hello, my name's Kev. Welcome to the channel. I am the Lindum Colonialist. I've loved to travel for the whole of my adult life. I worked in the travel industry for over 30 years. So what was it that captured my imagination in travelling? Quite simply, a pair of books by Ian Findlay and Trish Shepherd. The first book is called Africa Overland, and it was the story of the authors and their two children trekking from Cape Town to Cairo, an amazing undertaking with such young children. The book was published in 1977, and here's a copy of the book. I can thoroughly recommend it. The follow-up, South America Overland, a journey by the same family group from New York to Tierra del Fuego, was published in 1980. Again, another great read, and here is my copy of the book. These two stories gripped me from start to finish. My Wanderlust was born. Incidentally, there was a third instalment. This one was called Across the South Pacific, was published in 1981. Here's the book, but I found this one less interesting. My first trip abroad was a school exchange trip undertaken in 1978 from my hometown Stamford to Bonn, the then capital of West Germany. This trip was repeated in 1979. Our excellent German teacher, Mr. Chu, drove us there and back in a minibus on both occasions. Real adventures. Highlights of these trips included trekking in the Siebengebirge, playing football matches against our twin school in Oberkassel in Bonn. We lost both years, but I blame it on the alcohol consumed during the matches, which had been concealed in a bag by our goalkeeper, Steve Rhodes. The second year we had in our team the future England rugby international, Simon Hodgkinson, but that wasn't enough to get us a win. We played a lot of pool on our trip in Germany, and we were excited to find that a 5-pence piece was the same size as a 1 Deutschmark piece. So playing pool proved to be rather a cheap experience. Our Kneipe, or pub, of choice was the Bundeshäuschen, the little Parliament building. This stood opposite the Bundeshaus on the other side of the Rhine. We went to Cologne, and in Cologne we went to see a domestic football match. FC Köln playing. I'm not quite sure the opposition on that day, but during the match, one of our group stupidly started cheering Nottingham Forest. And this wasn't long after Forest had beaten Cologne in the semi-finals of the European Cup. A young guy approached us, drew a gun and pointed it at us and told us to shut our mouths. We did that rather promptly. It's the only time I've ever been threatened with a gun at a football match. We also in Cologne saw our first sex shop, Dr. Muller's, but no one was brave enough to go in. This was something we didn't find every day in Stamford. I stayed both times with the Familie Rau, and two of their children, Gerlinde and Reinhold, stayed with my family in Stamford on return visits to England. My first solo trip abroad was to Rhodes in Greece with a work colleague called Carl. It was a magical experience, ruined at times by sunstroke and hangovers. We stayed in the Hotel Metropolitan Capsis, and I believe this still stands. During that trip, we had the hots, both of us, for a lovely girl from Maghull in Merseyside, but both of us struck out. And I have to say, I've never had a better suntan in my life since this trip to Rhodes in Greece. My first Interrail Europe card was bought in the spring of 1982, the first of 6 I was eventually to buy. I think it cost me £66 for 1 month's travel in the whole of Europe, more or less. I visited 14 countries. I stayed with a pen pal called Ulla in Mellerud in Sweden. I visited Oslo and Bergen. I travelled from Oslo to Lisbon, took the train to Barcelona and Nice, Venice, Florence and Rome. Many, many more. Absolutely magical. So these are my first experiences of travel, and I hope you enjoyed the short video here. Please like and subscribe, press the bell for future notifications, and leave a comment. What were your first experiences of travel? What was it that got you interested in traveling in the first place? Anyway, I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.